657 homes have been destroyed by lava since the most recent eruption started nearly 2 months ago. So will those affected be rebuilding, relocating, or walking away from the homes they've known for decades? Gina Mangieri is always investigating and digs deeper into what's in store for land and buildings ruined or isolated by the lava flow.
Madam Pele is creating land by the thousands of acres on Hawaii Island, the big island that's getting even bigger. But for all that she gives, much is being taken away as hundreds of homes and businesses have been wiped out. Rebuilding, and just where and how to do it, is the monumental task ahead.
Hawaii County went from tallying lava-ruined homes one by one a month ago to dozens, then hundreds at a time.
If that was your home for over 40 years, and all of a sudden you lost everything that you've owned, instantly within weeks you become homeless.
For many who lost primary residences or even businesses and farms, getting back on their feet does not even have a roadmap yet. A county, state, federal, and private sector task force is trying to draft one. Governor David Ige tells me it's likely to involve large-scale relocations that may include land swaps.
Trying to identify locations for those farms that were impacted. Again, it's a little bit different from the residential area, but I think, a large part of where that location would be, obviously we want them out of lava zones 1 and 2 and really looking at lava zone 3 or higher.
Does the state have that much land? If so, where are some of the options?
We do have a couple of parcels that we've already identified along Highway 130. I know that there are some private landowners that has land in that area. The landowners that we're talking to are willing to make it available. So it's a matter of trying to identify what access to infrastructure and resources, making sure that it's away from the high-risk lava areas.
That may mean never going back, road-wise, with utilities, livable homes, or workable farms in large stretches of the East Rift Zone.
We can't do an exact assessment until the lava flow stops, but we do know that it would be very hard to get access to the properties and to restore the roads in and out of those communities might be cost prohibitive.
If your house survived but is blocked off on all sides, access and utilities might not ever be restored. What about these islands within an island of homes that were spared but are totally surrounded?
Exactly. In the Kapoho area, they're not able to access their property. So even in Leilani, if the lava went around their particular property, their home might be intact, but there's no accessibility. So land swap is something that we have to look at.
If it can be worked out physically and economically, I have no problem with that. I mean, unfortunately, they chose to live there, and they knew the things could happen. But yeah, let's get them someplace where they can build again and restart their lives. I think that's fantastic if they still want to stay on the Big Island.
The mayor's priority is to do just that, to build a community and try to give an opportunity so people can get back to their lives. But it's not only the people who lost their homes, but people who have lost their farms.
The costs won't all be borne by state taxpayers or come from state land holdings. The federal disaster declaration provides cash assistance for transition and moving costs. The emergency declarations fast track and partially fund recouping the cost of public assets and infrastructure lost.
It does allow me to make state lands available for emergency use as well as potentially for any future housing.
We have to look at an opportunity to look at existing communities or subdivisions, other areas within the Puna area that have a lot of property or homes that they could have the opportunity to move into.
At their expense or at public expense?
Our task force is going to have to look at that.
We'll follow up on what that task force comes up with, what comes of the land swap ideas, and what the cost ends up being for both the county and the homeowners. Gina Mangieri, KHON 2 News.